Here now. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our first live here ever with my beloved husband. Right.
Yes, happy to be here.
I know that, sorry, I know that I did not sit up for schedule, but we are quite busy every morning. So, and also it depends how the time that you can do live. So today we have a chance, and we're going also to mention some people and some of certain things that we're going to do in the future. So, and today also my kids they have a class, so we have privacy to talk, you know, anything.
Sure.
So what are you going to talk? What you're going to share to everyone? We have two viewers.
Just, I'm still getting used to being here full time. I got here on December the 5th. So you look at it now, it's coming up on 2 months, and I'm starting to feel normal. Hang on one second. We have to take care of some school stuff. There you go.
Thank you.
Yep, have a good day. So I'm starting to feel comfortable with getting acclimated, to the change in date and time zone and all that stuff, but also, the area, getting to know the local area, getting to know the stores here and where I can get certain things. But this is my driver and chauffeur, so she she takes me where I need to go, and just because she knows the right places to go where it's going to be good for us. So, but yeah, it's going good. I'm really excited about it. I'm really feeling settled in now. It just took a little time. Plus, there's a lot of change. She and her children had to move into this house, so it's changed for them too. So it's changed for all of us, but it's really settling in nice, I would say. And we're just having our morning coffee, so.
Thank you for the likes. Wow, I appreciate that. Yes, but this moves on this house is great because we have a very comfortable place and location, and also as the same time I'm not a single mother anymore. And some of I will share later. This guy that he was living here actually, he's also a vlogger. I'm not sure if he's still here, but if he's not stopped talking about me and saying bad things and also comment on my video that he was, uh, you know, so sure to do the statement that I am a very what kind of person that he was saying. Well, maybe soon later, if he's here, it's easy to get his information to the immigration to get it. And maybe soon he will receive the summon from me. Because if he keeps doing that, then I have to take him off. He have no rights to say that I am the reason that the two men in my life that I killed him. That is sounds like that what he's saying, and that is a very bad accusation against me that I have nothing to do with him. I don't even know him, but he lives here. Maybe he knows somebody that close to Mike that is also being fake with Mike, and they were just talking about Mike's situation. By the time they don't know what the situation, the whole situation about Mike, and also nor to my husband. Mike is not my husband. So he was just give the statement those accusation against me, that is bad. I am not affected, but I just don't want him to being comfortable to spread those kind of false information.
Yeah, and I was talking to her too, and I just said, you know what, we know the past and we know the truth, and just don't let that harm you in the future and now in the present. But in the same tone, when somebody's putting things online in print, then you just have to tell them to stop. And so I looked at the comment and I agreed with her. I told her, I said, it's what the person's saying. So let's just get over it. We don't want to make this about negative video, but it's just more of it's too bad there's some people out there that just can't, if they don't like something or whatever, they just can't. It's okay to make a negative comment, but to make a really hurtful one to that when somebody's past spouse passes away because of cancer and somebody says you're the reason for it, that's totally unacceptable. So I stand by my wife and stand by what she's going through. So
Well, I guess it's not all the people is understand. Maybe it says that if what did you do, that's what you were accused to someone.
right. Yeah, and that's okay. We'll deal with that, and we'll. She's gonna. I told her. I said I support her in whatever she decides she wants to do. So she can do that. But I think in the future we're gonna be talking about some other things. I told her. I said, for me as a foreigner here in the Philippines, and for me as someone who just recently came from the U.S. I mean, I was planning for a long time to come here, and my plans accelerated quickly at the end when we fell in love. So, but I'm here now, and so I think the perspective I have is pretty fresh from coming from the U.S. and I can share a few things that I saw. But I think that we're going to talk about in the future is some relational things. There's relational differences between cultures when you're with someone who's from a Western background and someone who's from an Asian Filipino background. There are differences, but they're good differences. It's just understanding that. It's just to make the relationship mix work. There's some interesting things that I've seen already, and it's great. It's all good stuff. It's just understanding that I think all the guys know that the women in here are different than the women in the West, but there's also things that they have in their culture and their past that we need to respect and honor as well. So we'll talk more about those in future videos. But what else do you want to talk about?
Okay, we are going to answer the
Go
comments.
ahead.
Can
Yeah.
you go live on your go to my channel so you can read
Sure.
also
Okay. I'm
there?
kind of new at this, guys, so just give me a break. I'm going to get my Mac going here, and I think I know what she wants me to do. So.
No, I want you to read what they're saying and I want you to answer.
Okay. Yes. Here I go. So let me get on the
Because
live.
we're actually using my phone
on the
and
live.
we're actually using turn off the volume.
Yes.
And then it's too small, and also the live chat it's missing quickly to my screen, so I couldn't what's this answer and read. So I want him to go check on his laptop and
Yes, I can see now.
so you have to
I'm
go
on
in the
board.
beginning. He's part of my my video this now, from now on, because I want us to do together, um, to just give you guys sometimes information that I can't explain to you back then before, because I'm not a partner. I'm just basing what my experience in my daily life here. So maybe this time you can ask some information how he uh, you know encourage himself to choose here to move in what is the Philippines looks like and what we have there, in the same as he said, the culture's different. So
Yeah.
he can explain very good in that. It's I can't do that because I am a local Filipino. So
Yeah, and I told her, I said, I think it's a nice perspective to have both of us talking, because I see so many videos where just the vloggers are talking, and if they're married, they have a spouse or someone, a lot of times they're there, but you don't hear from them as much. And I told her, I said, I like this approach of the two of us doing this together, where it's not just the foreigner talking, but in this case, she's the vlogger. I'm just the guest. So,
You're part of
I
part
know
of
I
it
am.
now.
Yes, I am. But let me answer some questions. I see a question here about where am I from? Well, most recently, I'm from southwestern Florida. I was living in Florida for probably about 4 years. Before that, I was in kind of all over. I was in Georgia. My children are in Georgia, and they're grown and everything, and married, and have families and all that stuff. So lived in Georgia for a while. Then I lived on the West Coast, and these are just moves related to work. I was transferred from different companies. So I was in Seattle for a while. I was in the Bay Area of San Francisco for a while. But originally I was born and raised in the Northeast, up in Connecticut, on the New York side of Connecticut. Lived there for all my adolescent years, and then I went into the Marine Corps after I graduated high school. So then I lived in Okinawa and spent some time in the Asia Pacific region. So that was my taste of being here back in the late 70s, and absolutely loved it, and knew that I wanted to come back someday. So when I got back to the US and finished my tour in the Marine Corps, I went to college and just went out and tried to get a good job, and I got into the IT space. So I was in information technology, communications. So I worked for some carriers like Sprint Corporation. I worked for a phone company called, a voice over IP company called Vonage. I worked for some other private companies. And then most recently, unfortunately for me, during the pandemic, I worked for Zoom Video Communications. So on the phone product side. So I was helping colleges and universities with their video and voice communications. So really loved the job and enjoyed it, loved working there. And during the pandemic, it was a secure job. So, but I wasn't planning on retiring until 65. I'm 64, but after meeting her and getting, falling in love with her and everything, and I decided I didn't want to postpone our time together, because time is the key, right? So you can have the best laid plans, but God knows the timing and everything. And when you have something good, why put it off and wait for a long time? So, but anyway, that's kind of how, where I was in the US and getting to here. So I hope I answered that question. And I agree with you. Yes, Toni Manning, she is a good woman. She does deserve it. And I was looking for the same thing. I'm divorced, and I really hadn't dated. And, I don't think people know our story as much, but should I tell them a little bit about our story?
Yeah, sure.
So I found
it's
her
good for
before she
being
found
real.
me. Kind of, I knew of Mike because I was looking years ago at the Philippines, and I saw Mike when he first started vlogging. And I remember Mike had a video where he had some whiteboards behind him, and he had some data points and everything. And he was saying, if you're coming to the Philippines, these are the things you have to do. And I remember that being a good video, but at the time when I saw it, I was nowhere near coming to the Philippines. So I just kind of dismissed it and put it aside. But I remember it being a good checklist. So fast forward a few years later, when I really thought, okay, I really want to start planning, and really it's getting closer now, I'm getting ready. I remember that guy, because I wasn't subscribed to Mike's channel, and I said, I remember that guy had the checklist. So I didn't know his channel name or anything, so I was scouring the YouTube trying to find out his channel and everything, and I finally found it. But when I found it, she was on it, and Mike had just passed, and I was like, what happened? Well, he hadn't just passed. I guess he'd been passed for a little while, but I was blown away because I was like, this guy seems so healthy and good. I was curious of his story. So I started backtracking the videos, and then she walked me, in the video, she walked through being in the hospital with Mike, and before that, Mike getting sick and having his first heart attack. And I was really interested in his story. So I was figuring out who she was and everything, but there wasn't an attraction at that point. It was really just more of interest, and I was really blown away by I'm talking to you. I was blown away by your commitment to Mike. I was like, wow, you're just taking care of him so well, and you're really a good woman. And I could just see in the videos. And then I saw, after he passed, I was really interested in who you are, because I saw how tough it was for you after Mike passed, where you had to move and you didn't have a whole lot of income coming in, but you were still raising your family. So at that point, it still wasn't romantic, and it really was just I was kind of looking at you compared to what I know of Western women, and I was like, wow, I'm just in love with the Filipinas and the resiliency and commitment and caring, and just I was watching you go through all that adversity, and I saw the character of the woman in the videos, and so I knew a lot about you before we even met, and I told her this, but I still wasn't connected with her. So, but then fast forward later on, I saw her house and some of the things that it lacked, like windows.
he's my secret admirer. for for a while, I never know that he was just there checking on me.
Yeah, so I never commented, I never jumped in her videos or anything. I was just watching. And I remember seeing a video of her with her son at night. There was a typhoon or something, and water was coming through these holes in the walls where windows were supposed to be. And I remember seeing them not complaining about it, just saying, yeah, this is what it is, and we have to deal with this. And I didn't really think too much about it. But then a few days later, waking up in Florida, I remember waking up and having this thing in my spirit. I don't know if it was placed there by God or I believe it was by God, because it was very clear when, as soon as I woke up, it was the first thing, and it just said,
It's my
help
friend.
help her with windows. And I was like, okay, I knew what I needed to do. So I remember I was like, but I don't even know her. I don't know what this means. So I remember sending an email to her saying, you don't know me, this is a little weird, I don't know you, but I have a proposition for you. It's not the kind of proposition you're thinking of, it's more of a proposition to help you. But if you choose not to answer this, that's okay. But if you choose to answer it, that's okay too. But I'm offering what I feel like I'm being obedient to what was placed in my spirit for you. So I sent the email to her and waited, and then she did reply, and she was naturally curious of what's this about, what's going on, and we chatted a little bit, and then she said, well, let's do this over video. It'll be easier than going back and forth in email.
Yeah, but I'm saying that I'm not saying that, okay, just go help me. And I said no.
Right.
Because I don't know him actually. And then I miss you too, Susie. Um, and then I said, oh, what kind he is doing? So I said, no, we can talk, but I don't think if I am going to accept your offer, because first thing, for what for? Because I am giving a distance with anybody. I was been dealing for how many years since Mike passed away. He was passed away, and then there are, I don't know how many guys that goes, trying to, courted me, and from YouTube. And some of them actually, they're not happy. They're, saying bad things against me because they've been dropping down, but not all of them. Some of them, they understand, because I don't want to be pretend to look what I can say. You're offering a money. Some guys, they're offering a money there that they said they want to help me, but I know what is going after that. So I say, insisting for, say no, because I am not comfortable, and I feel like, I don't want to go after the, wallet, and then it's something like that. Later, it's bad, you pretend. But curious for this man, I don't know how he makes me answer so quick. And then we never know. We've been talking every day until, later on we realize that we like each other. So
But do you remember what I told you in the email when told you about my proposition about helping you?
I know.
Do you remember what I said? Tell him what I said. Do you remember?
he did he's mentioned about, I'm going to help you, but I'm not going to, to court you or something like that. So
Yes. This offer for help was just for help. It's not No ulterior motive. I'm not trying to pick you up. There's no strings attached, and you could freely say no. So I wanted her to know that all I was offering was help, and there was no ulterior motive, because I know that probably comes up a lot. But so that's kind of how we started, and I remember. And I remember there were people, when I told people at work, I said, oh, I met this person that I've been kind of following, and I'm not really dating, but I said I really did something maybe a little crazy. I sent some money to a woman in the Philippines without meeting this person, but I sent it for these windows, and there were several people at work who said, oh, that money's gone. You're not going to see that and everything. And I thought, well, if it's gone, it's gone. But I feel like I did what I felt was in my spirit I needed to do. But then sure enough, I don't know, 2 weeks later, I saw a video come up that you put out, new windows on the house. So I had a smile when I saw that, because I thought, I knew I wasn't going to get scammed. And I felt comfortable with everybody saying, oh, you should never do this. But when something is I've always known that when something gets put in my spirit to do something, as weird as it sounds, as risky as it sounds, that doesn't happen often, but when it does, I can trust it, because at the end of the day, if she took the money for the windows, and it wasn't a whole lot either in my eyes, but to her it was the end of the world. But if she took the money and spent somewhere else, that was okay with me, because I did my part. I was supposed to give, and I did. But I was warmed to see the video with the windows. I always look at those windows and think, wow, that was the beginning of our meeting and talking. So anyway, I was kind of going on with a lot of this. I wanted to give you guys some of the background, but let me get to the questions, because I know there's some about this here. So I think I answered. I'm from Florida, but kind of all over the U.S. Yeah, Marvin, I agree with you, and I've told her too. There's going to be drama on YouTube, and we just have to insulate ourselves. And I told her we're just not going to get personal about it or anything. Just go ahead and do this. Marvin wants to know where we're located. I'll let you answer that one.
We're located in Visayas, Negros Occidental, which is our capital city here is Bacolod City, but we're living in the north area, which is Talisay City, between Bacolod and Silay. So
Yep.
that's our location.
And Marvin, yeah, I don't know if I'm her moderator. I'm just helping her. So, but
No.
I'm very tech savvy. So I told her I'll do everything I can do to help her with the channel. And I also see, Marvin, that you're in Georgia. Where in Georgia are you? I know it's cold there. I have a daughter that lives in Augusta, and I have another daughter and her husband. They live up in Cartersville, and my son lives in downtown Marietta Square. And again, they're all grown. And a note on that was the hardest thing for me, making a move here to the Philippines, because I love my kids dearly and I talk to them weekly. And to me, that was my hardest decision point of leaving the US, because I didn't want my kids to feel like I was abandoning them. Even though they're grown up and they're adult, we all spend a lot of time together, and that was going to be an adjustment. So for me, and Melissa knows this was the hardest thing for me, to move so far away from them. But I felt like I had to do this, and I really took the time to explain to my kids that it's something that I feel like I have to do, and I hope you guys are okay with it. And they are. My one daughter is having a little bit of trouble with it, but I'll give her time. We're gonna work through that. But so yes, Georgia, I know it's cold. My daughter says it's freezing there. I don't mind. And when I lived in Georgia, I lived in Alpharetta for a while. And then I lived up in the mountains, up in a town called Ellijay, which I loved it up there in the mountains. There's one for you. Lady Writer says, good morning, sis. You probably saw that.
Yeah, that's my friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, hey, Bob C., how are you? I think it was God's will that you should two be together. Yeah, we feel that way. I mean, when I got divorced, I wasn't dating. I'm not a serial dater. I wasn't looking on dating sites. She wasn't on any dating sites as well. So I wasn't, when I met her and was kind of watching, I was really watching for information I really was curious of the journey and what happened and who's this woman and how'd she take over this channel. And I was just blown away by her kindness to him and his legacy, and to really being a good mother. And I thought I was very humbled by her. And it's still, there wasn't thinking relationally, it was more just, wow, this is the resiliency of the Filipino women, and I just come to love. But Yeah, I think as we spent time together, I began to fall in love with her. So it was one of those things where I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't on all these different dating sites or anything, because my intention was to come single and find a place to live, and just God always will bring women into my life. Not that he's brought a lot of women, but the women who I've had have been good women. So even the one woman that I'm divorced to. So it's I don't look for relationships in bars or on websites or anything like that. Although we did meet kind of on a website, your website. But I'm going to shut up now. So you go ahead.
Good morning to my beautiful niece. Is my niece? She's just commented.
Ah.
Yeah. And
Oh yes. Hi, Floor. How are you? Nice to
down,
see you.
down. Read it.
Hi. I'm in. Okay. You're in Buford, Georgia. I don't know why. Hang on one second. I can't read the end of the chat here, but yes, I see that you are.
Huh?
Yes, Marvin. Yeah, Buford. I'm familiar with Buford. I did work up in that area a little bit and everything. So it's. But yes, I know that area well. So, and someday I'll take her to the U.S. Someday, not to stay, but just to visit, because I do want to see my kids and I want them to meet her. So.
Well, I hope your kids can fly down here in the Philippines because they can,
Yes.
make them excited.
And
Because me, I don't know why I'm not fun in US because I was been married and then my husband supposed to be bring me there, but I said I love my country, and I'm going to stay here. And plus, if you go there, the expenses it's a bit different. So I'm kind of a more uh, being practical, not just going to travel or because she want to have, you know, the experience. If it's not necessary, then not really for me. If it's necessary that, as he's said, he have a family there in kids. So, yeah, why not someday? But back to my husband, I don't want to go because he have no family. He had nothing interesting to bring me there to let me to introduce or I want to know about his family. So that's why I don't, bother.
Yep, and Marvin, I see that you're at your horse farm. Well, I had a horse farm in Alpharetta, Georgia. My daughters grew up on horses, and my daughter in Augusta has 4 horses right now, and she actually worked for a while at UGA's Equine Center in the veterinary school there. So she was doing some work there on the side. So I'm very familiar with the horse life. It's both of my daughters were heavily involved in it. My son in downtown Marietta was not. He's more a musician and those type of things. But yeah, but I think for me, I would say the things that I think I miss from the U.S. are, well, she knows this because she's seen me on the internet. I miss my barbecue grill. I had a really nice Kamado smoker in the U.S. and I used to like barbecuing ribs and briskets and things like that. And to me, that's been the challenge is when I watched, I said, hey, Merle, how do you guys, you guys cook out here, show me. And she showed me this rack where they put the charcoal on the ground and they put the grate over it. And I said, that's not what I'm thinking of. I understand what that is. That's like camping, but I need a smoker. I want to cook and I want to barbecue and I want to cook her some steaks and, just kind of do, and the other thing too is finding good quality meat that we're used to in the U.S. So she's brought me to some stores. So we'll slowly get the grill going, and I'll have a grilling in the Philippines part maybe some.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have to find that out and then. Okay, Babsy. Yes, in the future.
What's that?
He said, will you go travel vlog together?
I hope so.
Yeah.
That was my when I thought of myself coming here, and again by myself, because I wasn't planning on meeting somebody online or anything like that. I was going to slow travel, kind of like my friend over at Vagabond Awake, a shout out to his channel. He does a great job with slow traveling with his partner. And I was thinking of that, but I knew the Philippines would be a home base. But yes, I'm hoping that, you know, we can do some of that. But you know, she does have children. She has a 17-year-old and an 8-year-old. So we're gonna be here close to them. We want to make sure that they get the best education they can here and get set up for life. But we do plan on sneaking out and taking some trips. So I'm sure we can do that.
Yeah, we can just go out of town travel, and then but as I am your driver, you are responsible to be a cameraman, because I cannot do it the
Yes.
same thing when I am driving. And then you should know that, oh, we're gonna take a video, it's just showing something, so you will be my a
Yes, I
cameraman.
told her I will be the man behind the camera, and
You
I
have to be
can
there too.
yeah. I was when I worked for Zoom, I was on video calls. All that was my job. I was on video, so I'm familiar with mics and cameras. You can see I've got her the nice mics here that we're using now, and so we'll try to make it not professional production, but at least pleasing to you guys watching. So, but I think the content is important, and you know, I might end up having my own channel just for my kids to track my journey and so forth. But we'll see about that. But right now we're together, and I want to try to help her create some good content for you guys, and we'll do live streams. I like doing this, and we can do a schedule or whenever's best for you guys. I know back in the States, usually at the end of the day, I was online or in the morning. So, but this
Yeah,
time might be good.
this time is good because there is Sunday night, so I think everybody is home now. I learned about this because actually I'm doing live on nighttime, but everybody is going to work or going out if it's night here, because we have an opposite time, Philippines in US. So I choose to live in the morning, so everybody there is home.
Yeah,
And
and
yeah.
that works out good. I think that works out good. I will say that the one thing I will say that it was all the vloggers that I watched preparing to come here. They really helped me as far as what you need to do and what you need to get, what documents you should get ready, and how you should do this. And when I was in Florida, I had a house down in a town called Naples, down in the extreme southwest part of Florida. And in end of 2021, I sold it because I kind of knew I was getting ready for the Philippines, and I wasn't sure about the real estate market. So I thought, I don't want to have this house that I can't sell if the real estate market, something goes wonky there. So I said, I don't mind renting for a little period of time. So this way, if I get the desire to move to the Philippines, I'm not tied down with anything. So I sold the house, and I was renting I moved back up to Sarasota, Florida. So I was in an apartment, I was still working. And again, I hadn't made the decision, but it's just funny how all this happened. So when I met her and we started really getting together and spending time with each other and everything, I was already free of my real estate house. And when the people bought my house, they also bought it with all the furniture in it. So I didn't have to really sell a bunch of stuff. I mean, I told her I had an inflatable bed. It was an air mattress because I didn't want to buy a bed and just for a short period of time and stuff. So I had some, but even though I didn't have a lot of furniture and stuff, it was still very hard to get rid of everything. She knows because I was talking to her, showing her all my kitchen stuff and this and that and everything in the house. And I was just like, there's so much stuff here, and I got rid of so much. So we in the West have so many things. I mean, I know that sometimes we think we don't, but I remember going, I think I sent 25 Balak buy-in boxes. They haven't got here yet, but they're going to be coming. And I thought I was only going to send 5. So it's just like, that's the one thing that surprised me, because I thought, oh, I'm going to have an easy time. I got rid of everything. Moving here is going to be a piece of cake. I mean, I can just have a couple of travel bags. And she saw me when I got here. It looked like I was some lost traveler with all these bags, mountain of bags at the airport.
Yeah, I met him to Manila airport. And he have lots of huge bag. I said, oh, what you gonna do with this? And yeah, we're, stay one night there, and then we travel together down here in this house, and gladly everything is settled when he's arrived. I mean, the house is fully painted already, organized, and the 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 plan actually is very quick because he visited me here on September, and he stayed 3 weeks, and then after he leaves, we plan for a good, good, and then uh, he sent me the money to purchase this house.
Yeah.
And then, if everybody that knows the, as it's a huge amount, so I don't think if anybody can do that, to trust the person you just meet, and then you were sending with those huge amount the money that you're not there. So I said, it depends on you. I'm relying on him. It depends on you if you trust me. Are you really trust me? I asked him. And he said, yeah, sure. If you go away with that money, it's fine. That's what he said. But I never know that somebody can do that. And that's why I know that he is, a really serious person to me, because it's not about the money but the trust. He trusts me
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I said to you, if you go away with my money, I'll be fine. I said, I think I said God will deal with you at that point. But no,
Yeah.
but I came here, and when we started to get serious, I said, I don't want to just move out there and stay there. I want to come and do a visit and spend some time, because I want her kids to be comfortable with it too, because she had children that were a teenager and another one at 8. And I said, yes, we could be fine together, but I'm being real. I'm a parent. I have 3 children that I've raised. So I said, I understand the dynamics of boys and girls, and especially teenagers. And I did not want her kids to feel like I was coming in and all of a sudden their family dynamic got really weird or something. So I wanted to make sure that I could be, as much as I could be, a father figure to them, because I have an affinity in my heart for single mothers. I know how hard it is raising children alone. God didn't design it that way. It's not supposed to be just a woman raising or a man raising. It's supposed to be a man and a woman. And so it's hard when a single parent tries to do it, and she's done a great job with her boys. And so I told her, I said, I will stay on the sideline and I'll get as involved in their lives as much as you want me to and let me. But I'm not authoritative or anything like that, but I will give them good advice when I can, and so forth. And that's really been great. It's taken a little time, but I think they're warmed up to me, and I really am. It's really weird, because when I left the U.S., I was thinking, if I met somebody, I really didn't want to get involved with somebody with children, because I've already raised my children. So my initial thought was, no, I'm not interested in a relationship where there's children. But I'm not opposed to it. And when she came along with her children, I never thought, oh, I don't know if I want to do this. It wasn't even, it was like, oh, sure, this will be fine. And, I enjoyed being a father and still being a father to my kids. So with her children, I feel I don't look at it as a negative. I look at it as extreme positive to impact. So,
Well, they both like him. I was surprised also that, to see how close my kids to him. And because, he's a good father. If you, that's how you know when you're a good person, because the kids say that, and then they feel that the concern and love towards them from the man that is not even their blood. And yeah, my younger son especially, he's really, close to him. And I am happy. I'm very happy for that. That is the main thing I want to see, because my kids is also very important for me. And they're my, first, what's this? First thing that I want to make sure that they're fine, because they are
yes,
part of me.
absolutely. And I wanted to make sure that I can be as much of a positive impact in their lives as I can because I know how much they mean to her. So I will play that role happily as long as I can. And like I said, we'll make it work. And it's been great. And Bob, I see your comment. We are not officially married. She's got all her paperwork filed. I've got my paperwork. I've got all the affidavits and on my paperwork that I need here, but we're going to see. We've just got a few more things. She's got to get her birth certificate because she couldn't find it. So once we get that, we can file it and get that done because I want to get the 13A visa once we're married so I don't have to keep doing these extensions.
Yeah, well, if you ask me that when are going to be married, maybe tomorrow or today, soon as possible. But here
Yes.
in the Philippines, I want you to know, guys, that it's not easy.
Yeah.
Easy as there in the US, because here you have to follow all the documents to, you know, what they request. And then they're going to analyze that and then approve, and then you can get it. And then after they approve it, then you can bring that to the judge, and the judge who get married to you, because I plan to just get married simple. I don't want, you know, just to be fancy in charts. I just want, you know, a court married. So yeah, civil married, that's what they call. And yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yes, and I see Coffee Link. You're in Swanee. Okay, I know that area well. I'm a big Atlanta Falcon fan. At least I was back in the day. So it's, but I still follow them too. So, but yeah, I'm obviously a coffee person too. But we finally found a Starbucks. I'm trying to find coffee, and I found some mountain coffee. But the problem is they grind it like espresso here. So it's I drink coffee in a French press. So I can't grind it so fine like powder, but they grind the coffee like, because they use like a drip machine or something. So I'm trying to find. I've got to get a grinder, and then I can get the local beans. The local beans are very good. They're just very strong too. So. But I enjoyed meeting her family. I mean, I've met already several of your brothers. I've met your sister-in-law. I've met obviously some of their family kids. We've had some family things here at the house too. So I think I've been really accepted and, you know, accepted into the family.
Of course, yeah. My family is no problem, you know, to you. But you know, because back to Mike, we never mention about the family when we are actually doing vlog, because nobody knows that, you know, we're not a husband and wife. And then he doesn't like maybe of what his experience back on his relationship, you know, back then in Iloilo. Maybe he was been, you know, take advantage from a family, from his girlfriend. So when he moves here, but I'm not forcing him to move here. I give him what's this, because he asked me if I could taking care of him the rest of his life. So I said sure, as long as you're nice with me, then why not? Because he also uh, likes, because I have experience with Americans, so I probably he think that I have more known enough to understand as the Western guy. Plus, he was also sick, and he goes to the point later in the future that he is lose his patient, and you know, a good you know, a good what call is that,
Attitude or?
attitude. And yes, everything I've been through with that, you know, bad and good, and I know that is gonna come, so I already aware. And yeah, but he don't want any of my, you know, family to come to the house when we're together. Back then here, when we're renting, which is I understand, and he told me about that. So yeah, I don't bother. And then maybe just my mother and my sister, but every time my mom when and my sister visit us because they live here not far, he was just there upstairs inside the bedroom. He come down sometimes, but not he is not really as a friendly person towards them. So it's okay with me.
How about me? Do you think they like me? I mean, what do you think?
They like you.
Okay.
We have trips somewhere, anywhere, and then
Yeah, we've
everybody
already
says,
gone back to the farm in the mountains where her family's from. I tried to talk her oldest son and me tried to talk her into letting us take the truck up to the mountain, but she said no way.
yeah, it's difficult. The road there, it's very,
You need a serious 4x4 with some big lift kits to get up there.
yeah, it's not easy. And plus, I don't drive for that kind of a road, so I don't want to get a chance to have, something happen. So maybe someday we can go where's my mother village, and we can see everybody.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
there.
see. Yeah, I've driven that before. I've had 4x4s in the U.S. and I was trying to get my Forerunner here in the Philippines because it was a 2004 Forerunner with only 50,000 miles on it, and it was a fantastic. It had a V8 and everything, and it had everything. But the importing process was so crazy and unsure of, and I decided to just sell it in the U.S. So I would have loved to have had it here, but the truck we have now is a 4-wheel drive, and it's. I think it can do it. It's just a matter of we'll have to, as long as it's not raining. So we'll see. We'll see what that might be a video at some point.
Yeah, maybe our next video where we try to, or we were gonna do it when sometimes we're going to travel down on the mountain, maybe down in Dumaguete or down to San Carlos, because I want to show him show him the mountains and the road from Bacolod down to Don Salvador. We call Don Salvador to San Carlos, and across the San Carlos going to Cebu. So there are a nice and just like chicken intestine. Actually, they call that is chicken intestine because it's like
Yeah.
and you have to go up in the mountain, down and up, down, and then just like that. So it's very nice there, and then maybe yeah, we're going to make a video for that.
Yeah.
I don't know, Mike, he does that, but now we have a truck. I know the motorcycle is fun, but I told him that if we get the motorcycle for both of us, I mean, we'll ride, and then it's raining sometimes, and then also I don't feel safety for him because he doesn't uh, uh, used to drive here, and even here in the city, when he's see drivers is very different. There's no rules obey here by the driver. And I told him, I said, I don't want you to feel bad that I have been driving. I don't want you to think that I was avoiding you to drive the truck. But, I want you to know that is the safety in how to deal if ever that you get accident. It's difficult to deal with these people, the Filipino, the local Filipino here, uh, Filipino in American. And I was been with that encounter before when my husband, and even the partner is right, they're gonna twisting to be his fault. So I just, aware for that to not to involve him for any something happened in the road. So I told him that I said it's better me if ever that we have problem in the road, but me to deal with my local Filipino.
Yes. And I understand that too. Is that somebody at the door knocking? You want to check it? I'll talk for a second. Just life,
Layla,
life. I was not a motorcycle
Layla,
driver, so I was not someone who rode motorcycles in the U.S. I did ride
I
scooters and things
die.
like that. I did go and get my motorcycle
Too
license,
big.
so I could ride here easily. So it's on my driver's license that I'm
Morning
certified
lang.
and everything.
Tiin na to.
But I told her
Mas kaputi.
I really don't want to drive a bike in town.
Anda na.
Even though this is a small town,
Thank you,
I mean,
ma.
driving here, it's like those of you guys in Georgia up 85, you know, Spaghetti Junction. It's kind of like Spaghetti Junction with no rules. It's like everybody just goes. And so I really don't want to drive a bike in town here as a means of transportation. We bought the truck and I feel comfortable driving that and being with her. So, but I told her I'd love to get a bike and go, if we go on long road trips through the mountains or down along the beach or something where it's more open and everything, I'm totally fine with that. And so, but I understand her concern. She doesn't want an accident to happen and things to, you know, be an issue. But we'll see. I would love to go on bike trips with her, but if I go on a bike trip, I told her I'm going to be like the Michelin Man. I'm going to have a helmet and a jacket and boots, and I know it's really hot here, so part of me is like, you know what? I think I'll just put the AC on in the pickup truck and we'll go for a ride. It might be easier, so we'll see. But I know she loves to ride, and I don't want her to miss that. So I've even told her if she wants to go with one of her girlfriends or something to get out and on the road and let the wind blow, she can do that. So that's okay, honey. We didn't hear anything. Come on. She went to the bathroom. I said, she was like embarrassed. I said, no, I think we're okay. We're
No.
good. So, it's okay.
No, my leg is cramping. So.
Okay. But yeah, so we'll see. But I'm not really, it's interesting to me that I think we've seen one accident since I've been here. And I'm just like, I'm amazed that there's not more accidents, but everything flows. And I'm getting used to, you know, going through intersections without really stopping and just looking. But again, my Western things kick in sometimes, and I'm like, this person is straddling the lanes. Why aren't they staying in their lane? And it's just, you have to get used to that kind of thing. So she does a lot of the driving and she wants to, and I'm totally fine with that. So we've got around that.
And on my first, because I was bit driving with my car, and that is a small one, and then that is a manual, so it's kind of for him, I know the fear of his eyes when I was starting to driving into the city, because everybody like something
Yeah,
like that.
we'll come up to an intersection and she's like pulling out. I'm like, honey, there's like a big sugar cane truck coming right at us. What are you doing? And she's like, don't worry. I was like, okay, this is not how I would. And it works. So I'm not a backseat driver. I let her drive and I don't say anything because she's a good driver.
Well, it's always being aware.
It's being
even
aware,
though-
yes.
Yeah, that's why I don't want him to drive, especially in the
Crazy city.
the crazy city, because of me as a local here. I know what is when I see the motorcycle stand. I mean, waiting on those intersection with no stoplight or even have a stoplight. I think it's kind of a brain instinct that you will know what he's gonna do or what moves. That's why I'm always aware. And sometimes, yeah, they're just stop there, and then soon when you're close, they're going to zig. So that's what you have to aware is. And also some of this driver with a four-wheel vehicle, they're not using a right, you know, uh,
Turn signals.
yeah, turn signals, and then what they do, they're going to change lane for a last second in front of you, and sometimes they're going to overtake to pass you without let you what's this to be aware, and then that's what you have to watch always, so you have to avoid any accident.
And there's people that'll just pull out in front of you and they'll just do a U-turn in the middle of the road. You're like,
Yep.
you can't do that here, but yes, you can.
And
They
then
do that.
it says there, what funny, it's some Filipino, not all, they're just, doesn't care what is the road's rule. And they say there, no left turn, No U-turn, but everybody's goes U-turn and
Yeah.
left turn. So I say, what the heck?
But I'm getting used to it. Now I'm getting used to it. So we drive around and it's been enough where I've been the passenger. So I'm really trying to pay attention and see how she handles situations. So, excuse me. So I'm learning. So, but I've driven before here. I've driven, I don't drive on long trips in the city, but up into the mountains or driving around our town right here, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
And I must say, I'm getting more used to the food. The food is good here, and she's a really good cook, but I'm being careful with the local food until I get my immunities built up. I got sick here once when I first came, but I don't know what that was from. Maybe it was from the water, or maybe it was
I
from
don't know.
a
Maybe
vegetable that I ate that I shouldn't have eaten or something. I don't know. I don't remember, but I got.
maybe from the water faucet that you do for
Yeah,
toothbrush,
yeah, yeah.
something like that.
I was using the water faucet when I brushed my teeth. I wasn't drinking the water, but I was rinsing my brush off and rinsing out my mouth and spitting it out. But now I've gone back to doing bottled water for when I brush my teeth. And we're probably going to get a filter put on our pump here just because if we can do that, that would be better. Then this way we can make sure, there's no issues with waterborne things or whatever. So, yeah, but it's been great. And I think that this house, when I was leaving in September, I told her, I said, I'm going to have to start renting a place because when I come back, I can't live in your house because it was too small and it would not be good for everyone. So I just told her, I said, there's nothing against your house or anything. It's just we need something a little more room. So maybe I'll rent something like a house I can find or whatever. And so we were looking at that, but there weren't too many rentals around, and we really want to be close to her kids' school. So we started looking at homes for sale, and that's when she found the house kind of in the catty corner lot. And we were looking at it. Well, she was looking at it. I didn't go because I didn't want them to see me. But the house had a lot of issues. And so it would have cost us a lot of money to fix it up. And then at the last minute, that's when the broker said, hey, there's another house here. And when I saw this house, I told her, I said, when she first took me through the town, I remember looking to the side and seeing this house from the main road. And I remember thinking like, wow, that's a beautiful house back there. And it was like a quick view of it. And I remember looking like, oh, there's a real nice one way back there. And little did I know that about a month later, and it was so funny because before I left, we had seen this house and we actually put an offer on it because we said, what do you think? Because this house is not going to last. And so we put the offer on it. And then when I got back to the US, it closed. And it happened literally in about 2 weeks span of time. And I told her, I said, oh my gosh, in the US, if you bought a house, even if you're paying cash for it, it's going to take 45 days, maybe 30 days if you're lucky, but it's going to take a long time. So it was very, very quick here. But it was something we look at each other and say, wow, this was meant to be, because we never thought this house, we never even knew about this house until like the last minute. And and then I remember I told her, I said, I saw this house very briefly when you were driving. And I remember seeing it saying, that's a really nice house. And God must have been listening because it all worked out. So sorry, I'm talking again too much.
It's okay. I want you to be an actor.
Well, I don't want to, it's your show.
Jamie, for the
Any
house.
comments
It
we
is
need to?
a beautiful house. Thank you, Mike.
Yes, it is a beautiful house. And I think I told her, I said, and I think I told this in the other videos, when we get a house, I want her boys to have their own room. They were sharing rooms and this and that, and it was too tight. And I said, if we get a house, I want her 17-year-old needs his own bedroom, her 8-year-old needs his own bedroom, and we need our own bedroom. And plus we need another space for her family because her family's gonna come up. But this is perfect because her family can stay in the little guest area, which is kind of separate. So they have privacy over there. The boys have privacy here. I've been thrilled with that part of it. The house has been fantastic. I mean, and she and her sister-in-law have been working in the garden, and it gives them something positive to do. And tell them the comment. I'm going to go run and refill my coffee, but tell them the comment, the Amazon guy said to you about the house, I guess, the other day.
Yeah, I think that was before yesterday. He had the delivery from what he's ordered from Amazon, and then The guy's first look, he was looking in all around the house from outside, and then he said, "This is your house, mom?" So I said, "Us, our house, yes." And then he said, "Your house very neat, and the paint it's very right, and it's very looks calm, and the organized for the garden in front. It's
Puppies, are you
beautiful."
behaving back there?
And it's
Okay.
nice, very nice house. You're very lucky to have this house. So I said, "Thank you." I said, "Well, to maintain the house is also a big job." And then his answer says, "Well, at least you have a beautiful house and a very nice design." So I was amazed by that, from somebody else, amaze the house.
Yeah, and it worked out really good. I mean, this house is a 4 bedroom, 3 bath house, fully concrete. I mean, I think I showed you the details in the video and everything, and it has a generator for battery backup. It has the 110 electricity, so all my US things will work here. And I sold a lot of my stuff because I didn't want that to be an issue here. I just thought I'd rebuy it here. And no, all tile, all in great shape. So this house is really set up great. And I'll just tell you that as from a pricing standpoint, it was just about $100,000. And a house, I told her, a house like this in the U.S. would easily, in a nice area, would easily be 3 times that much. And so we decided to just pay it off because with the crazy things happening with the U.S. government, if something changes with Social Security, I said I don't want to have to worry about
Renting.
renting and then having that cost every month. And then what if they do something? I'm not going to preach about the politics in the U.S., but I just wanted something that was guaranteed for us. And plus, when we're married and everything, I want her to have I know that she's going to outlive me, right? I'm planning on being here a long time, though. I'm not going
A
anywhere.
lifetime.
I'm not going anywhere soon, but she's not going to, if something does happen to me and I'm gone, she and her children are not going to be out on the street. And because as a man and as a husband and as a provider, we're setting up the life. I told her, I said, I'm going to treat you with full trust. And that's the only way I know how to do a relationship. I don't, guys will say, oh, don't do this. They're going to scam you. They're going to do this. And I'm like, I don't want to be in that kind of relationship. If I'm worried about sharing things with my future wife, then maybe she shouldn't be my future wife. I want to be with somebody who trust is a big thing. And when you're in love with somebody and when you're doing a relationship, I understand that there are people out there who scam and they're very good at scamming and this and that, but that's not her. And I know that. And we're going to build a life together. But more importantly, I want to build something that outlasts me. So I did a good job, I think, with my children in the U.S., and we're still in relationship and happily doing that. And I want the same for her kids here. I want my presence here in their lives to be everlasting, not just, something where I'm here and it's all about me, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I want to make sure that their lives are set up too.
Well, you don't have also to worry about, because I know there are, many foreigner. As I see as a a vlogger also, because I see a lots of false information from another foreigner, that they just give information to make a content, but not all is the truth, and I feel bad because they make the Philippines and the people here, especially the woman, which is I understand, maybe they have experience, but you can't bring to everybody as the same. I want you to, to stay positive. If you have a past like that, don't think it everybody is the same. And I know some of these foreigner, you know, I will say that you're make a mistake, and then you were taking everybody uh, because you have an issue with one. So you can't do that. And I want you to also respect some other Filipino and the Filipina, especially the woman, that not to saying bad, because if you keep doing that, then what if it's gonna happen to you? You know, if what you were saying, that means you're doing it. And I just don't like to see some of the vlogger here. They are just creating as a content, but actually behind the camera, that's not really happening. Because what I know, some a vlogger here, they just do something stories that to create just to make a content and make the viewers interested to watch their video. And I feel about that, I'm not gonna mention each one of them, but later on somebody gonna find out if what is actually the truth.
Yeah, and I just say let them go, and you know what? We'll focus on our stuff, and I don't worry about other people. I will let them do their thing, and as long as they're not mean or spiteful or hurtful toward you, then I will obviously support you. But I really, I really want the best for our lives here. I feel like now that we have this house purchased, my income, which is primarily from Social Security, can easily cover all of our costs and still save money every month for trips and things like that. So we can still be covered. And she's a very good budgeter and everything, and we're getting that down. It's been a little hectic because since we moved in, we've had, when you have a new house, even though, especially in an old house, you have to buy things. There's things that are broken that need to be fixed, but it's not super expensive here. Although things have gone up in cost, things are a little bit more pricey. But I don't know. I love it so far, and I know it's home. It feels comfortable. I love seeing her beautiful smile every day, and I think one of the big things to me is with her is I've told her, I said, as we're together as a couple, it's neither one of us is bigger than the other. We're equal, we're the same, and we always have to communicate. There's already been some times where there's been some miscommunication, but you know what? We've sat down and said, hey, let's talk this. When you're ready, let's talk this through. So I've heard as a foreigner the stories about tempo and watch out and this and that and everything, but it's not an issue. I mean, as long as you communicate, and I give her space, and same thing with her with me. If she's like, honey, are you okay? Do you want to talk about something? And this doesn't happen, like I said, maybe I'm making it sound like it happens. It doesn't happen a lot, but there's been one or two times where we've just misunderstood, and it's a cultural thing, because I'll say something that I'm not being sarcastic or anything. It's the way it's interpreted, the way it's read, and the same thing with her to me. I don't fully understand. So sometimes we have to still tell me what you meant by that. Let's make sure I understand and things like that. But I feel good that, we communicate, and that's the important thing, keeping the communication open, especially between, couples being together.
It's part of it. There's no partners that is perfect.
Right.
So, but at least we fixed it and then we talk. We're not like live that way and then the other
Sweeping it
person
under the rug,
go
yeah.
around, go and then walk out and something like that and doesn't fix it, and then later when those small problem it goes big if you don't want to fix it and if you don't want to talk about it. So it's better that you have to talk about it and then understand to each other what is the problem and then apologize who is to make the problem with it and who say something that to hurt on your partner, something like that. That is very important. Apology is important because that as a woman we feel good if I'm not being bossy, but if I am right, then I'm not gonna down my pride.
Right, but sometimes you have to. You do you want to be right, or do you want to be in relationship? Because sometimes I've seen people, especially in the U.S., in families where parents don't talk to their children, and they're both adults, right? But when you talk to the child who's an adult, or you talk to the parent, and they'll say, no, but I'm right. I mean, they're going to come to me, and I'm like, well, do you want to be right, or do you want to be in a relationship? So if you want to be in a relationship, sometimes you have to try to see the other side. So I am big on I don't know everything. I'm not an expert at everything. And even though I think I've got a lot of experiences in some areas, I can learn a lot from her, and hopefully she can learn some things from me, and together we can be great. But I think pride is what does the Bible say? Before the fall, pride is right there. So let's not be too prideful, because
Well, I
you know.
just don't like, because my rules is, if even when my back in my marriage, nobody knows that
Right.
me and my husband, we have a problem or disagreement. I want always to fix the problem in the private, you know, room, inside the room, not to let everybody hear it, because you just to have issues and you have to fix that and get over, not to spread someone else and then make them look to your partner bad because you had a problem. In me, I am a very protective with my partner. I don't want him to look bad to my family, and me also, I want him to do that. And if we have a problem, that we can fix it without letting somebody knows that we have a problem. And also, plus my kids, I don't want them to know ever that we had a problem, because I want my kids to say, you know we are have a good relationship, and they don't see that we're fighting or even argument, because that's how to be a good influence for the kids, that they can learn what they came from later to apply their own family later in the future. Because if they say that like this, you can imagine that everybody, they see that the argument, parents and partners, especially they're not involved with his blood. So I am very careful about that, and I want them to say everything is perfect, because I want them to learn how they being as a father later in the future. So I want that, and I'm very private about our problem. And I know that I think that was a right decision in arrangement arrangements, as a mother and as a have a partner, especially it's not their own father.
Yes, and I want to model to her kids how how a man should treat a woman, because I know that there's a lot of divorce in the world and everything, and there's a lot of issues, but especially when you've got young boys, I want them to see me respecting her and treating her properly, because I can't fix the past. All I can do is going forward, but I want her kids to see this is how you're supposed to treat a woman. So I think that's the most important thing that I can do. And then interacting with them, I want to be active in their lives as much as they'll allow me to. So to me, those are the big things that maybe I can do. But we can do
Football.
another. We're kind of. Do you want to keep going a little bit, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, soon we will be saying goodbye, and then we'll, going to live again later, and maybe we're going to give you some information before we do the live, because today we're just, I said
She just
we're
came in
going
and
to
just said, "Hey,
live.
we're going to go live," and I said, "Okay, let's go live."
But we thank you to all of you that to join us on our live, and hopefully we just share good information,
Yeah.
and especially to you, Sir Mr. Bob. See, and you're always very kind and good comment to my video. I really appreciate you, and
Very thankful for you, Bob.
sometimes I watch your TikTok, and you were been travel fishing,
Yes.
and yeah, I always love that. It's just kind of a nice also if you were seeing here the scenery, you were like it as me, as I never know there in the States. It's new for me and I just want to see also. So some of the video you made is good, and my deepest condolence to your friend that recently passing,
Yes.
and I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
So again, see you on our next live. And
I do hear some puppies in the front yard. Before you go, do you want to walk out and show them some puppies? They're in the front
no.
yard.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
they're
see
there.
right there. You
Yeah, we have a puppy lit them every morning, almost every morning, in
they
the
come out in
front
the front
yard.
yard and they
Yeah,
get
to
their
let
break
them
from
around.
their watch area in the back of the house. So
Yeah, but they have a good area in the back, and the house is not, they're not inside the kids, but they were there, have a boundaries between the dirty kitchen and the other area.
yeah,
So we don't want the flies, or sometimes, when they make food, they're just the flies, so we keep them there for the hygienes
yeah.
for us too. And that's it. But good morning again, and see you
Good evening to
on
you guys. Yep. Have a great night,
from
and
here.
we'll she'll try and put something out, but we'll try and do it maybe a little earlier we can, so it's not so late over there. But
No, I think they're going to watch the football.
oh, that's right. Yeah, we got to see the. I got to see if the Lions held on to beat the Bucks, but we'll see. Yeah.
Right, so we understand. And again, thank you, and see you in our next blog, and
Thanks, guys. Appreciate
God
it.
bless everyone. Bye.
Bye.